In the security situation, well, this time we're joined by Mr. Nabuke Edechime, who is a lawyer. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thanks so much.
Some interesting twists to this entire matter. Of course, there will be legal perspective to it, but having seen that discovery, uncovering of Boko Haram bomb factory, and the dimension wherein you've got an Igbo convert, actually, also part of those who were arrested. What did that tell you when you just heard it?
Well, I actually was amused that when the SSS spokeswoman was talking, she singled out for mention the suspect from Imo State out of the 6.
Because it's unusual.
Yes, but we're also entitled to know where the other 6 come from, the other 5. I mean, that is part of the assumption that naturally there should be non-Igbos. So it was surprising that somebody from Imo State was one of them. Ordinarily, she should have given us the origin of the other 5. We're entitled to know that. And it's surprising, actually, that a convert, within a short time, can go deeply into the cell of terrorists.
Well, anyway, they did that. They did say that some of them are of Nigerian nationalities, and one half Nigerian and also from Kano State, and as well as the bomb makers. But again, looking at that, taking it from where Chamberlain stopped, do you think that concern should be on the front burner, knowing full well that initially we thought it was a regional affair, just in that northeast region that has taken it to Abuja, but now we're getting to see that someone from southeastern Nigeria is also a member of that cell? Is there a possibility that there are also members from other parts of the country?
Yes. You see, when you discuss terrorism, you have to look at it from a wider perspective. Why do people resort to terrorism? Terrorism is using violent means to achieve political aims, or to overrun the government of the day, to force the hand of the government. Why are people resorting to terrorism? In Nigeria, we are not proactive. If you look at the Constitution, Section 14, subsection 2b states, the security and welfare of the people is the primary responsibility of government. The primary aim of having a government is the security and welfare of the people. Has our government satisfied that? Have they justified the raison d'etre of their existence? They are not proactive, they are only retroactive. When something happens, we start running up and down using a fire brigade approach.
Are you looking at it in the light of what? One government, two government, or government over time? Over time.
Terrorism didn't start immediately. If you look at, since 1970-71, there have been terrorist acts. When the Palestinian guerrillas went to Munich and killed Israeli athletes, in the early 70s, terrorism was there. In 1972, the IRA has started bombing in Belfast. That's terrorism.
Yeah, but if you look at the comments of the NSA, they admitted some shortcomings. They need to invest in technology. We were caught unaware. So much has been said about that. But even during the military interregnum, of course, at the time, they also did say there was a deliberate attempt to undermine the police force. And so the problem just go way deep into the system.
Yes, let me tell you why we have this kind of thing. You see, when the Boko Haram insurgency, as people call it, started in the northeast part of Nigeria, people thought it's a local affair, restricted to the northeast zone. Now, initially, it was believed that it was an attempt by Muslim fundamentalists to Islamize Nigeria. But over time, they didn't spare Muslims either. They were killing fellow Muslims who they felt were moderates, and whoever they felt could compromise. Even the Sultan, who is the head of the Islamic religion in Nigeria, nominal head of the Islamic religion in Nigeria, is one of their targets. So it's not as if it is we Muslims versus you Christians. They are not sparing Muslims either. The issue is, why Boko Haram? Literally, we understand that Boko Haram is no to Western education or whatever it means. Now, the sophisticated weapons they were using, did they manufacture that? It's still a product of the Western education. The vehicles they used, they improvised bombs they learned how to make and all that. Now, who is behind it? Why the insurgency? If you look all through Nigeria, it is not just Boko Haram.
Are we answering those questions? I mean, you're asking a host of questions. I don't want to believe they're rhetorical. Aren't those questions we're supposed to be asking? Are we asking those questions? Are we answering them?
Now, I want to raise the issues before zeroing in on the question. Now, the National Security Advisor says that we are not prepared for terrorism. Why is he not prepared? Why is he there? Why do we have a National Security Advisor? To advise on what?
No, but he was giving us the reality on ground and how we need to move from there. What's wrong with
it is a polite way of saying, I have failed.
Really?
Exactly.
How?
Why is he National Security Advisor? What is it to advise? If it is not to be proactive, tell the president. You see, there's a briefing.
But the analysis you gave in Belfast, in London, in US, was it a way of saying the CIA, the Mossad, the MI5, MI6 all failed?
No, let me tell you. When there's an act of terrorism, you look at the response by the government.
No, but they too were caught unawares at the time it happened in their various crimes.
Now,
did they all fail at the time?
Now, the Al-Qaeda, you didn't know about Al-Qaeda until 9/11. Al-Qaeda was not generally...
they were, actually.
But after the 9/11 in 2001 in the US, they started studying that phenomenon deeply, tracing the origin, and then they found the brains behind it. They found the mastermind.